we can do this.
I thought we had Billy Baker, not Motley Crue. Welcome back to the Roadkill Drums podcast.
Are we having fun?
I'm gonna bang a drum. Oh shit, I died. Let me go.
Right now, welcome to the Roadkill Drums podcast. My name's Laurel.
Hey, Laurel.
We got Roadkill down there on the other end. I think you two are already acquainted.
We know each other.
We're joined by Billy Baker. Welcome to the show, brother.
How you guys doing?
All right, so we're just gonna kind of talk open forum. We're gonna share any cool story stuff, but there is one story I want to plug for you.
Okay.
If you're cool with it, because I saw your post about it. I saw everything. You built the drum kit that was just on stage for the Black Sabbath Back to the Beginning tour.
Yeah, that was I can't say I completely built it, but the shells were Sonar Phonic shells. You know?
Yeah.
Which if you tie a drum band brand to a band, Sonar Phonic would be the ultimate Ozzy, quintessential Ozzy kit. You know, because Tommy Aldridge played Sonar Phonic, so in your brain when you see Sonar and Ozzy, it just kind of goes hand in hand.
Together.
So I think the goal was to build the quintessential Ozzy kit for the last show, and it was a collaboration between me and Tommy. He had ideas on it, and we just kind of went together on it. And,
But you didn't even know it was going to be on there.
I didn't, but I built Tommy probably about customized. I'm going to say customized. I customized probably about 3 or 4 Sonar Phonic kits for him right now, and I didn't know which one was going to be there. So when the stage came around, I was like, I'd never even seen that kit set up. So it was a great surprise to kind of see that, and it looks so good.
Yeah, that was a great surprise.
He said that they ended up naming the kid at that show Blue Steel, from Zoolander, because it was just it was black chrome, but it has a little bit of a blue kind of hue to it.
Yeah. I remember seeing it on stage, and when I saw your post, I went, "Get the fuck out of town."
I did too.
Cool as shit.
It's like, what?
Like that's got to be like a jump off your chair. It's like I built that kit. I put that
Dude,
together.
I was like up in Detroit, out in Brighton, at our friend's house, and just watching the show all day, and then it came on for the Ozzy part of it. Yeah. I was like, there's only like me and my wife and Matt, and we were just like freaking out.
I bet it been a little emotional too. I mean,
well, especially when he was singing, "Mom, I'm coming home." I mean, that even if my kid wasn't there, I would have been crying, because it was just.
I think Ozzy was choked up to the point. It was everything he could do, not do.
Well, you've seen the controversy that's been going around online about it, right? Because the media coverage just kind of made it look like they just abandoned Ozzy out on stage. But what you didn't see was that they came back out and brought him a cake and let him kind of soak up the audience at the end, and he wanted to be out there. He wasn't just ditched out there. He wanted to be out there and soak it all up.
I think he just was afraid that everybody's going to leave him out there by himself. They're like, hey.
Well, he's just soaking up the audience. And I thought that was such a beautiful moment, and I'm glad that people are coming together and saying, no, this is what really happened. We were there. It wasn't ditched. It was a wonderful moment with the audience and just Ozzy for a few minutes.
And it was more for him than the TV or the audience. I think that part was more Ozzy going.
Cool. You got a lot of people that he meant so much to, that people are actually concerned that he was left out there.
Yeah.
It's like,
well, I mean, you think about the figure that, and we'll get off this up here in just a moment here. We're here to talk about Billy Baker, but someone who was such a core part of rock and roll during its golden years, and has been a part of all of our upbringings. And it's also such I'll even say controversial figure for all the crazy stories that Ozzy had throughout the years. To still mean that much to so many people you're an icon at that point. And it's an ending of an era, so it means a lot more than just the band or the audience. It means so much to everybody.
I thought the concert as a whole, not only, you've got bands that are paying tribute, people telling stories, paying tribute. I thought that it was done really.
Just keep hitting the buttons. These guys start drumming louder. Feel free to pick up the mic and talk into it so we can hear each other a little bit better if you need to. But yeah,
drummers.
But so kind of dialing back in now, we got that cool recent story out of the way.
Yeah.
I want to learn a little bit more about you as a drummer, like where you got your start, and like what was your big aha moment, like what led Billy Baker from being a kid to being where he is now.
The short version.
Yeah, we'll do the short version.
I mean, basically, I knew I wanted to play drums by the time I was 4. I mean, I saw like Creedence Clearwater on a television thing, and I mean, that was my first band, was Creedence. Of course, Beatles and Stones came along with it, but I can't say anything kind of impacted me more than like Creedence, and then Three Dog Night, Gary Wright, things like that until I discovered Kiss, and then from Kiss it led to Aerosmith, Zeppelin, Queen, the big 4 I call them, around that time, I got older, so around 12, the Kiss thing started to fade a little. I got into Cheap Trick, Cars, kind of that era was going on, and then the new wave of heavy metal came through again. It started with Maiden and Priest and Ozzy around early 80s to 82, and then Motley blew it out, and Quiet Riot brought that whole era in.
Def Leppard.
I was kind of part of that. It just kind of my thing just kind of lended itself to that era,
Yeah.
Can you look back and laugh? Hell yeah, you can do that with anything. But it's like, I gotta say though, there's absolutely no way that grunge killed hair metal. It just was time. It was time.
It was time.
It was just time. It wasn't because of anything that killed the genre. It's just kids get older. There's going to be a new generation that comes in. They're not going to listen to the same thing.
I think that's a very healthy and fair way to look at that. There's so many documentaries and people out there with these opinions that it's, I've heard so many people say that it was Guns N' Roses who killed it when they started doing ballads. I've heard that complaint before.
I think if anybody should be thankful for Guns N' Roses.
That's exactly what I was about to say.
Actually saving it and kicking out that whole genre for about another 4 or 5 years that it wouldn't have happened, because
that's true.
Those guys came in and they were the real deal, man. They were like, they made some of the other bands look kind of silly at that point.
Well, yeah, we don't need to name anybody specifically.
No, but it was just such a good record.
Well, yeah, I think that Guns N' Roses, like, look, I am not a huge Guns N' Roses fan, but I can absolutely appreciate them and everything that they brought to everything. And I feel like they get an unfair rap with all the people that are saying that their ballads killed the era of rock and roll. I think that's an unfair statement, because I think you're exactly right. They help bring as it aged, as anything does, it has to mature. And if you don't cross that bridge, you're not going to keep it.
And it made all the bands that were out there kind of take a look at themselves.
Yeah. A little bit.
If you want to stay viable, you got to change a little.
Yeah. Like, you have to grow and you have to change it. The times and the generations and the kids are always going to rebel. Like his generation looks at mine, or even at my son's generation, and he goes, "These kids don't know what they're doing." I'm like, your parents said the same thing about you, and their parents about them. And things are always changing and evolving.
You gotta realize that it's. I thought I was always gonna be like, I was a single dad for a long part of my son's early life, and so when he started getting to be a teenager, I was taking him to shows. I always thought I would be like the coolest dad, and I would like we'd go to all these shows, and then so I take him to it was called Off Fest. It was like all the bands that were on Ozzy, and so it was like Slipknot and Disturbed, and I'm like going, what the F is this? I didn't get it.
That's funny you brought up Slipknot.
I didn't get it. I'm like hearing the screamo stuff come from myself, and I'm not supposed to get it. Your kids are gonna listen to. It doesn't matter how cool you are or what you were into. You're not gonna like your kids' music, and it's supposed to be that way.
Who was that?
I can't hear you. You gotta lean into the mic, brother.
I just forgot the name of the band.
I don't know. I can't read your mic.
Yeah, Slipknot. That's where I was going. I actually saw them at a show. They opened up for Dr. Timothy Leary for basically an acid head show up in New York. And I met them there, and they were playing Deadhead music. This is way before Slipknot ever. Nobody knew who they were. They were playing quality.
Yeah.
So it was like I got to hear them then, and they were covering a bunch of quintet stuff, and I'm like, you know. And then about 5 years later, I started hearing metal.
Yeah.
That's not what I heard.
Well, no, so speaking, rolling back a little bit here, did I hear correctly? You got to work with Kiss, didn't you?
I did, yeah.
Yeah. You talked about how they were some of your inspiration coming up, and then you got to work
Well,
with
it was kind of weird. Like I said, I think like when Creatures, I didn't like any of the Dynasty or any of that Unmasked stuff or the solo albums. You know, it was kind of like I was already moving into my teenage years, so I was like, at that point, they were like, to me, it was like, well, it was almost like a kiddie band at that point. You know? And it was like superhero stuff. So I was like teenagers, I needed danger at that point. You know, so it felt like punk rock and that kind of filled that void for a while. You know, but I don't know. I like all kinds of genres. I listen to a lot of different stuff that's not even punk rock. Different music for different parts of the day.
Oh yeah, no, man. There was a point in my life when I listened to a lot of like big swing and jazz, and then I found myself coming back to like the hard rock stuff, where I would listen to a little bit more folky country stuff.
Yeah, and I think what we're seeing also is like, you've seen the genre of like guitar rock is kind of like, I think it will eventually end up kind of like big band era music.
Yeah.
You know, there's nothing you can do about it. It just things evolve and change, and kids use what's available to make music with. And right now, there's a lot of other things available for kids these days to make music with.
My 3-year-old's got a drum set at home, and he's got a couple of guitars. He's got my guitars, and he's eager to try out all of it and explore music completely. So I'm with you 100%.
It's hard to wrap your brain around it, especially with your whole life you lived playing in rock bands and stuff like that, because you just can't imagine. It's the same way those big band or jazz players always thought that their genre would be at the top of the
world forever.
Chain, but it just doesn't happen that way.
Well, and then it's also the technology involved too. I mean, like I've met so many musicians where they remember back to the days of recording, and you had to play it right the whole way through to get the recording. But nowadays, with computers and the access to that technology, which is getting more and more accessible every year, it seems, everybody can go in, play something that's close enough, and then tweak it in the system.
Yeah, see, I can't subscribe to that.
But that's the difference in the generations, right?
My band Valentine's Love, we're recording new music, and we still go in, we still play live, everybody together, and we still make it all the way through the song together to the end, or we start the freaking thing over. So far there haven't been any punches, but I guess it would be easier, but I don't know, you gotta do it the way that you do it.
You gotta stay true to yourself.
Yeah.
Well, and there's a phrase there that's been kind of lost for a long time, and that's the title of a recording artist. There's an art to recording, there's an art to performing live, and that art to recording, I think, really still hangs in being able to play it in the studio, not having to go in and do the tweaking. That's an engineer. The person who can do the recording part is the recording artist. I think that's a phrase
playing the songs live. Is great. I've always loved doing it like that. You can capture, an electricity that you just can't do when you're like just overdubbing it.
Oh yeah, no, I 100% agree. We won't get into the whole AI side of it. We'll be on a whole another hour podcast about the AI thing. But so I'll ask you one last couple questions, and we'll wrap up here because I see you got some fans out here want to come say hi. But so going back over your entire experience and career in music so far, what has been your favorite accomplishment and your biggest challenge? Your favorite challenge?
Well, I mean, the biggest accomplishment that completely changed my life was Eric Singer. I mean, he completely. I did a 1975 replica of the Kiss Alive kit, and I posted the picture after I was done on Facebook. And before that, I used to get like 10, 20 likes on stuff, and I came back the next day with like 800 and something likes on my picture, and I had a messenger from Eric Singer saying, "You need to call me right now." And I'm not going to go into all of that. There's some stuff out there about how that all happened, but basically, we became buds, and we ended up doing 9 drum kits and about 185 snare drums for the Kiss End of the Road tour.
Wow.
And I still talk to him to this day, and he changed my life. He was like, he just completely put my name to other and refer me to this guy or that guy, and it changed my life.
Can I mention your other career?
What's that?
Can I mention your other career?
Oh, what I do for regular money?
Yeah, the real job.
I'm a computer guy. I work for a haberdashery company, custom tailored clothing, and that's just another hat that I wear that I enjoy. I like the business end. I like going into work, suit and tie, and doing a computer, programming, designing, graphics, you name it.
You and I can relate on that one. That's what I do.
I've been in the same company for 28 years. So.
Okay.
Yeah, so
That's awesome. Congratulations.
Yeah.
And they let him do fun stuff.
And they let him do fun stuff.
Well, yeah, when the whole KISS thing, I had to really sit down with him and say, look, you guys have to let me have this,
Yeah.
It's like, this is like a once in a lifetime thing. And they did. They were so cool. They just thought, there was a lot of turning the other way for a lot of things that a company probably should have said, but this is getting ridiculous. But,
But they're loyal to you.
Yeah. Totally.
Okay. So before we wrap things up, is there anything you want to plug where we can find any of your work? If we plug any
Celeste,
endorsements?
my wife, she's so awesome. We're like a team, and she did a lot of the stuff on the KISS thing. I got her involved. She would make the seat tops when we do canister grow.
Oh, yeah.
And that ended up getting calls from Brent Vince from Slash's band for her to do some. But without her, her support and being behind me for all that stuff, she's everything.
That means a lot. I have my better half right there.
My better half's right there.
Yeah.
Exactly.
She does the fractal burning on the drum stuff build, so it's the same thing. She's behind me. Well, actually,
It's just not a coincidence that everything in my life changed.
Well, it's this phrase that behind every great man is a strong woman. Yeah.
She's the one.
Out for sure, hands down. All right, brother. Is there anything else you want to plug? Any endorsements or anything you want to plug in real quick? Or
No, man. Just I'm sure I kind of wait for a little bit of inspiration, so I'm not all the way. I'm not out there hitting it hard all the time.
Yeah.
I'm just at this point in my life, I'm just not. I don't have enough to just go out there and just hit it all the time. So I just kind of do my thing and just cool things will show up here and there, but that's about it.
That's awesome, brother.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you so much for joining us today.
Hey, thanks, guys.
Honor to have you.
Yeah, love you guys.
All right. Let's go run around and have some fun.
All right.
I want to bang a drum.